On April 15, 2019, something really sad happened in Paris. Notre Dame Cathedral, also known as Notre Dame de Paris, sits on the eastern portion of Île de la Cité, an island in the Seine River in Paris, France's fourth arrondissement, and serves as a monument to history and religion. Renowned for its magnificent French Gothic architecture, this Catholic cathedral is particularly beloved by both Parisians and tourists. It is dedicated to the Virgin Mary. The famous Notre Dame Cathedral caught fire. It's a huge old building that lots of people love. Flames shot up into the sky and smoke filled the air. It was a scary sight. People all over the world were shocked and sad to see such an important place burning down. But now, the Parisian icon is set to reopen 5 years after the disastrous fire. Built in the 12th and 14th centuries, Notre Dame de Paris has seen many battles and revolutions during its history. Millions of people all over the world have been enthralled with the cathedral's magnificent stained glass windows, intricate stone carvings, and towering spires, which reach heights of more than 100 meters. A number of important historical and religious objects, like the crown of thorns, which is thought to have been worn by Jesus Christ at his crucifixion, are also kept in the Notre Dame de Paris church. Millions of people visit this architectural wonder each year from all over the world. The famous Notre Dame Cathedral is a brilliant illustration of the creative spirit and architectural brilliance of its day. The cathedral, which combines aspects of Gothic and Romanesque architecture, has enthralled tourists from all over the world with its magnificent architecture and fascinating history. The flying buttresses, a revolutionary invention from the Gothic era that allowed the construction of taller, more slender buildings, are among Notre Dame's most notable architectural characteristics. Large stained glass windows can be installed, and the exterior supports that gracefully extend from the walls to the ground help to balance the massive structure's weight. Drenched in a captivating spectrum of colors and light, the inside of the cathedral is illuminated by the breathtaking rose windows, which are regarded as one of the best specimens of Gothic stained glass artistry. Notre Dame's interior is just as magnificent, with a vast nave, ornate rib vaults, and tall columns that give the impression of being higher and more expansive. Situated at the heart of the cathedral, the choir and high altar are adorned with exquisite carvings and creative masterworks that beckon guests to stay and meditate. And it's not just majestic from the inside. Mostly made of wood, iron, lead, and limestone, the church was constructed. It was the same kind of limestone that was used to construct the Chateau of Versailles, known as Lutétian limestone. When concrete replaced limestone as the dominant building material in the 20th century, the majority of the limestone quarries that were used to extract the material were shuttered. The church's scholars have been perplexed by the use of wood in the construction for decades. Despite having a large amount of wood, particularly the roof, the church has never had insect infestation or structural deterioration. Numerous pieces of wood were hardly damaged, even though a large portion of it burned during the fire. It is possible to remove and examine church wood for the first time. Through these efforts, hitherto unknown details regarding construction from the 13th century may soon be found. And when the Notre Dame caught fire, all these majestic creations were burned to ashes. The upper portion of Notre Dame Cathedral was partially destroyed by a massive fire that broke out on the evening of April 15, 2019. Although the monument suffered significant damage, some of it could be spared because of the 400 firefighters that responded to the spot. The monument's reconstruction started last year after more than 2 years of work to make the cathedral stable and secure enough for artisans to start rebuilding it. The Parisian icon's reconstruction has been a massive undertaking. After more than 2 years of work to stabilize and protect the monument sufficiently for artisans to repair it, it started in 2022. The Gothic art masterpiece from the 12th century will be rebuilt in its original form by the authorities. One example of this is the reconstruction of the 96-meter-tall spire that was created in the 19th century by architect Eugene Viollet-le-Duc. This year, in a potent symbol of its resurrection, the cathedral's centerpiece, which collapsed in the fire, will resurface above the memorial. The return of the spire in Paris' sky will, in my opinion, be the symbol that we are winning the Battle of Notre Dame, stated General Georgelin. Every day, some 1,000 workers from all over France are devoted to restoring Notre Dame. We have a lot of different works to achieve: the framework, the painting, the stones, the vault, the organ, the stained glass, and so on, Georgelin said. Millions of euros have already been promised to fund the rebuilding of Notre Dame Cathedral, as promised by French President Emmanuel Macron following the fire. French billionaire Bernard Arnault and his company, luxury accessories brand LVMH, have offered 200 million euros, according to French media outlet AFP. The Pinault family has pledged an additional 100 million euros, which owns fashion conglomerate Kering and investment firm Artemis. François-Henri Pinault, married to Hollywood actress Salma Hayek, said the plan should be to completely rebuild Notre Dame. The building has suffered major damage before. In the 16th century, many of its statues were destroyed by rioting Huguenots, while during the French Revolution in the 1790s, much of the religious imagery inside the cathedral was desecrated. The cause of the fire is still unconfirmed, but believed to be linked to renovation works. As one of the world's finest examples of Gothic architecture, the building underwent major repairs to its stone walls and structure. As part of the works, 16 copper stairway were temporarily removed from the building's fire so they were not destroyed when it collapsed. However, some other statues were recently reinstalled elsewhere and will have been damaged. Less than 6 years after a fire destroyed its roof, Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris will be able to reopen to visitors and devotees by the end of 2024 because of rapid renovation efforts, according to French officials on Monday. The famous cathedral spire, which was destroyed in the fire, will progressively begin to resurface above the monument this year as a potent symbol of its rebirth, according to General Jean-Louis Georgelin, the army officer in charge of the enormous undertaking. Meanwhile, just recently, an underground facility in front of the cathedral will host an exhibition named Notre Dame de Paris, which is the heart of the construction site, which is open to the public. It is free to access and showcases the staff's knowledge and abilities as well as the site's ongoing operations. It also includes some fire-related remnants and cathedral artwork. December 8, 2024 is the day that the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris is scheduled to reopen. On April 15, 2024, precisely 5 years after the fire, there will be a Te Deum. Philippe Villeneuve, the architect, is in charge of overseeing the restoration. The idea is to reconstruct the cathedral in its entirety down to the spire. The redevelopment of the forecourt and the surroundings of Notre Dame de Paris, whose final delivery is scheduled for 2027, is being carried out by the team of the Belgian architect and landscape architect Bas Smets. The project leaves a lot of room for green spaces and the enhancement of the facade of the famous monument. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed watching this video, then hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell icon so you always stay tuned with more of such content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.